let's just move into just sort of, are we ready? That's the big question. Um, you do take these with a grain of salt. I mean,
Yep.
I remember the Stephen Kearney preseasons that the guys are training their house down, and
Mm-hmm.
then things kick off. But this is the third year. I feel confident in Webby's systems.
Yep.
We'll find out round one. I mean, obviously we've come up against some. I really, when I looked at that Melbourne team, there were a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of young guys put together, and I respect that and understand that.
Yep.
And so we're not trying to hide from that as fans. I don't
No.
think anyone here, Warriors fans, is hyping anything up. We know how things can change within a minute, and the Warriors injuries, everything. So, but there are some really good signs. Are we ready? I think we've got the first things first. I think we've got the right leadership. I think
Mm.
Fish and Barney as co-captains will do great for our team. I think Webby another year. I always hearken to Webby that he's still a young coach, young
Yep.
head coach.
Yep.
He's adapting. He's trying to learn. He's trying to improve. His staff are trying to improve. So I'm thinking this can only go up from where we went last year. But we'll pretty much find the gaps throughout the season of where we've improved. Me and you have always been big on defense. First thing is first.
Yeah.
We
Yep.
will find that out against the Raiders in round one, how we shape up defensively. We've done well in this preseason to just keep the numbers very, very low.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll have a good idea of where that we sit defensively. But for you, Ash, are we ready? Do you feel confident at least? Not to say we're going to hit top four or anything like that, but do you feel confident that we're going to have a good season performance-wise?
Yeah, that's the whole thing, bro. Is I think that we're ready. I think we're ready to go in the season. I think the boys look fit. They're biting at a bit against the season. The real question is obviously like, what's people's expectations for the season for the New Zealand Warriors? I think like as Warriors fans, like we've obviously a lot of people may get excited for the trials here, but as we continue to say, these are trials. I still think that we got the ability to make top 8 this year. I think that it will be around that 6, 7, 8 sort of position that we can find ourselves into. But we also do have the ability to find ourselves just outside the 8 due to the amount of talent around the competition right now. And we we did lose a little bit of experience in the offseason, a little bit, a lot of experience, right? A lot of people calling the heart of the New Zealand Warriors, right? So I think that we're ready to go. I think Webby as a coach is very, like, he always seems to have the boys ready to go, up and firing. Whatever happens during the middle part of the game and injuries and that definitely is up for question. But I think that coming to the season, as you said, he's a young coach, very similar to a young Ivan Cleary when he had to step up for the Warriors. He had some great moments, had some moments that he had to learn, ended up becoming one of the better coaches in the competition. I think Webby's still got the ability to do so. So defense is 100% key. Yeah, you're 100% right. Fanatics as well. I think that we just need to start the season off on a good note. Going up against a very tough team in the Canberra Raiders that, Ricky Stewart just knows how to play grindy footy. So I think we're ready to go. But I think the boys are biting at the bit. I think we got potential to fire into the season and really catch a lot of teams by surprise. But I think a lot of people should understand that our expectations this year is around just hopefully getting into top 8 and not so much start talking about top 4 and, premierships. I'm sure the boys as a club are talking about top 4 premierships, right? The players want to be that. But as fans and staff, be realistic. We understand we're in that phase right now where we want to see these boys step up on the big stage. Luke Metcalf, we want to see him consistently be the great number 7 that he showed in preseason. That's the whole thing. We still got a lot of questions about our club, but I think we're top 8 ready for sure.
Yeah, no, totally. Hey, big shout out to Steve, brother. Hi from the Waikato. I think we're tracking well played. The 2 form teams preseason. Let's hit the jackpot and make it. Hey, let's hit those pokies over there, man. Let's hopefully we get a good run on the on the game there. But welcome, bro. Hope you're well. I'm from Waikato as well. Might see you around sometime, Steve. But welcome in, man. Absolutely awesome. I think we can take it from it positive. I think that little bit of a preseason in. I didn't realize how big of an impact the last preseason was. But these are professional players. You expect them to do. But I mean, it's good that they've had a full run. I agree with Jacko there. There is no excuse technically from time frame. You haven't been cut short from time. We know Penrith do it every year, but credit to Webby. They've had their time to work on stuff. They brought in Fisher Harris. They've lost AFB. We understand it with 2 retirees and Sean and Tohu, which is a massive loss for experience. But that you replace it with youth in terms of depth guys. You got Aaron Clark there, who looks in good shape. He looks like a body that wants to work and will keep the tempo of our games up when sometimes we could probably be a little bit slow. There's a ton of positives, and I can only say, I think we're ready, but we'll find out in that first round. All I can ask for is that we've been big on it. Get the defense right, make us solid, and be consistent. That's all we can ask. We want our guys. We're not saying we're going to win 16 games. We've said that, Mark, and we talked about having about 12 games gets you into the 8. I think you should try and get to that. If you get more, great. But I think performances wise, you should be definitely keeping under that 18-point mark per game defensively. And then attack wise, we should be looking to be more potent across the field in all parts. It will look a bit different with our AFB, but I think we've got the Luke Metcalfs, we've got other guys coming through that. We talked about it, I think, maybe a few weeks ago about everyone has to bear the responsibility of this. Like,
exactly.
A lot of weight was on Sean and AFB and other guys to step up. This is a team that will require everyone to play their role, which is great. The more responsibility, delegation, we know that helps people improve as well. So, any other thoughts on the topic? Yep.
Yeah. I think the system suits us to be more of a balanced side, right? Like the Penrith Panthers, they are a balanced side. They play, everyone digs in. It's not about, obviously everyone will say it's about Nathan Cleary, but there's a lot of things that go around in the background that helps out Nathan Cleary become Nathan Cleary the way it is, right? So, we got Mitch Barnett, James Fisher-Harris, those boys are going to be all bearing the weight as well. And I'm sure everyone else is going to step up in their abilities to help out. And I think we're going to be, I think we're going to be okay. I really do. I think that, with the experience that has left us, we're still the 3rd most experienced side in the competition. I think I saw that stat fairly recently, which is a surprise for a lot of people, but we are. Like, it just shows how crazy amount of experience we had in the last couple of years. But when you do think about it too, think about the premiership experience we still have at the club. We brought Fisher Harris. He's a 4-time premiership winner. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, he's won a premiership. He's a Daly M winner as well. Kurt Capewell's won premierships before. These guys have all been out of really good systems. Dylan Walker's won a premiership as well. And other guys have been to the grand final and know what it takes to get there. So we've got a lot of good experiences still at the club and still got ability. I think the only key thing is obviously Tohu and Sean were the heart of the New Zealand Warriors. Who's going to step up and become the heart of New Zealand Warriors? And I think it really comes down to Fisher Harris. What type of hole can he fit into? And can everyone else step up in their abilities to continue on? And I think we have the ability to do so, bro. I'm very excited to surprise a lot of sides in this competition because I do think we are going to come in that little underdog sort of mentality again this year. I don't want us to always keep that, but it is going to help us in areas as well, I think, this season.
No, for sure. We've always done well when we're underdogs, let's be honest. Stay under the radar is always a good thing for us. Allows us to get into just a great comment here from Mackie I thought was worthy of talking about. Yeah, that does allow Webby to build his team, having AFB, SJ, and Toy. I mean, those are players he inherited. I think we're now into his 3rd year. Everyone that he's recruited in is at least in the team and big parts of the team. So I think we're seeing, not to say Sean and that weren't part of his vision, but and he done well to get those pieces to work effectively as part of what he wanted to do. And which is honestly, I think he doesn't get enough credit for turning that team around instantaneously. Like we couldn't believe the levels that the guys were playing at, and pieces that they weren't even his pieces. And he just came and worked with him and said, "Yep, you're going to do this, you're going to do that." Jackson Ford, who are you? Yep, I'll figure out a place for you. He did all these little magic tricks to get that team going. But now we're starting to really see him in full effect as a coach and what his vision is. So, yeah, I totally agree with that, Mackie. It's a really good comment there, actually.
100%, bro.
And Don, good to see you, my man. Great to have you back in. I hope you've been